Hello, good morning. Time to get absolutely rolled with these openings here. Thank you, Malmshog, 46 months. Lil Crumb, always like that name. Lil Crumb, 30 months. Reality 8, 38 months. Gunnar Stahl, 28 months, tier 3. Thank you, Gunnar. 40 months from Shirts. Hey, buddy. Yannick, thanks for the 40. Good to see you this morning. For me, at least. Tasmaniac, 10 subs to start things off, and we're about to get into Title Tuesday. Geez, I almost played something different. It's hard to remember to play E4, E5. Oh my goodness. Oh, my favorite variation. Yeah. Let me go ahead and give you all my light squares, and we'll call it even. I guess I'm gonna play this. Okay. So we'll see B3, of course. I don't know about this move, but I guess long term I thought knight d5 was coming. Here, probably queen c7 takes. Are we bothered by this? I have queen d4 there, where he has to take me. That has to be okay for me, though. I think he has to take me here. Okay, so this is hanging, but obviously d4 is as well. We go c5, we could long castle. I don't know how he's defending this. I guess knight g3? Doesn't look like a very good move, though. At long castle, he can maybe play knight f4. Let me go with the c pawn for now. Who's here? He does want to play knight f4 for sure. Need to evict this knight. Knight d7 or bishop d6. Just gonna bring the knight back there. Let's go here. Knight here. I'll play g5 just to control this square. Okay. Does c4 win the game here? He takes. We take here. And we're hitting another piece. Should win. Knight b4, a5. Seemed like a very careless move. But also not a very good move. Like, I could just play b6 or castle. But it also seems pretty bad. I think g5 was a good move. Just stopping knight f4. Once again, abiding by the principle. I'm just going to play b6 and just have all my pawns on dark squares, and then I have the two bishops. He only has a dark squared bishop. Yeah, so he goes here. I guess we have to play a5. I suppose This is not really what we want, so let's take this. Takes here. There's bishop e2, there's bishop there. Is this the moment to play this move? That's what I wonder. Let's just take this. I think we can give him the center pawns and take the pawns on the side. Can't take that. Let's go take the open file. Rook trade, I think, wins the game immediately for me. So I don't think he can do that. Okay. Let's bring our king over here. Put the pawn on a2. Wish this was a little nicer. I have to do this, put the knight here. A little bit awkward. But everything stays protected. Somehow. Check, we go king c4. No check, we go here. Just need to get this knight to a good square. G2 is a good square. I think we can pre-move it. It's a good check. Win this pawn by force. And just check him for a sec here. Don't even really need to do that. This is not a stalemate. Oof, long game. Wouldn't be surprised if it was the longest one of the round or something. Holy smokes. The old e4, e5. I mean, I don't really know what's going on, but all I know is that with this particular setup, I think knight a5 is the move that I've been going for. Not really sure how to handle these positions, but I felt like this queen trade was good. We have the two bishops, and the move g5 is, I think, is really nice. So I felt okay here. And yeah, bishop a3 must just be a mistake. So here I played a5. Maybe there was a better move. Looked pretty reliable, but I still think there's something I did wrong there. It's pretty fine. It's pretty fine. Cool 11, thanks for the 63 months, man. Welcome back with Prime. Sir Percival, half a year. Baz, thanks again for those 10 subs to start us off here. Woolers, 31-month resub. Welcome back. Woolers, 39 months from Spenny Thompson. Always trying new openings. That's a mark of a good player, Spenny. A wide repertoire. We didn't say that it was a repertoire you knew inside and out and had tons of moves of theory. You said it was a wide repertoire. That's what I think of when I think of Spenny Thompson. A jack of all trades. Thanks to Big McLarge Huge 92. Just a fantastic username. Big McLarge Huge. AR Hudson, Lancelor, Ghostface111, thanks for half a year. Marcus LJ, 27 months with Prime, 20 months from Mason Lee Burton. Thank you guys. Good to see everyone again. Title Tuesday. Feels like it's been a minute since I did Title Tuesday because I think I missed one of the Tuesdays during my trip. What, are we playing the longest game in history here? What's going on? I thought my game might be the longest of the round. I got put to shame. I got put to shame. Jeez. Look at me. Don't even bother trying. Floyd Akash, 70-month resub. As we know, the most important. Thanks very much, Floyd. All right, we got the white pieces. Good morning to Mannered Monk. How you doing, Mr. Mannered? Just, use the Kappa face if you're doing okay, man. All right, we're going to go Knight C3 and Bishop F4, I guess. So far, so good. Okay, Queen B6. A3 looks very normal to me. Maybe the idea is Rook B1, I'm not sure. A3 feels logical. I just thought of something, maybe it's completely stupid, but I was just thinking, what if he played Knight H5 there? I can't really take, right? Kind of an interesting move. So... I think that the middle game position like this is one where I play G4. As soon as we go here, do we have to deal with Knight H5 though? H3 feels like a good move, but I don't think it's part of my actual plan somehow. I feel like my plan is supposed to be with G4. So I'm kind of confused. I just know that the position is supposed to be kind of set up like with G4, so I'm confused how to achieve it. Because if knight here, I feel like knight h5 happens, which maybe I'm not supposed to do. And if I play g4 even now, I think he can actually consider taking it and queen takes b2. So it feels weird to go here and here, but somehow the positions I'm remembering are only with a rook on b1, so I'm just going to put it there. I could probably go g4 here. Isn't this always an issue? Or maybe we just don't care about this move. We just let this capture happen. Maybe that's how it's done. Also, I think I want my bishop here. I know it feels weird with the move c5, but I don't think this knight can ever reach those squares, so bishop's kind of safe here. So I just can't remember how this move g4 enters the position. That's what I'm struggling with. Okay, something feels definitely off here. Like f6 knight g5 or something. g6 there. Also, if he plays f6, the knight is kind of trapped out there. Something feels very off for sure. There's definitely bishop g5 playable, but I don't know what to make of this knight here. Okay, so bishop takes, queen's gonna move, and then the knight's coming in, so I assume it's with the pawn here. Yeah, he gets a little more access to that square, but jeez. Takes there, king g6. Yeah, I guess it's okay for you. I guess. Oof. Okay. Guess we'll take. I don't believe what my opponent just did. I don't believe it. Maybe this. We're very weak on the light squares. No doubt about that. Knight e4 was an option there as well. I think I need to watch this pawn. I will take this. Greedy guy. It's annoying. Jeez. Can barely make a move there. Let's take that. At least I'm covering that. I really should be playing h4. And not playing it is very silly. Rook e2 for me. Rook e2 for me. Oh, wow, that's smart. He has H2 mate. I didn't see that. Um, so we actually didn't really have a defense either because there's 93. So, yeah, unfortunately, we just got a little bit low on time and just had to make some random moves here, but I'm really confused because not really sure. Like, I remember that I think I was supposed to play G4, but something didn't make a lot of sense about the way that variation hit me there. Like, what, here? This is always a weird line. Okay, Queen B6. So this is what I mean. I played A3 here because A3 just looks so good to me. Actually, I don't know how you don't play A3. I don't know how A3 is not the move. That's what I don't understand. It looks like such a good move. It's crazy. To only play Rook B1, like, damn. Okay. The move A3 is categorically the best move. Well, at least my instincts gravitated towards the best move rather than the move we were supposed to remember. So at least if you're not going to remember correctly, at least we played a good move. Okay, Rook B1. Like, I don't understand why we wouldn't play A3, but sure, Rook B1. Let's have a look at some similar moves. Yeah, wow, he's really just not caring about Knight H5. But that's the thing, Knight H5 is never mentioned here. So I'm not sure what to make of it. Wow. G4 as early as that. That's impressive, eh? Here I am thinking it's like A3, Bishop D3, all these like prep moves. It's like, no, just absolutely send G4. So that's why we don't even waste time with A3. That's impressive. Rook here. And then literally, if knight here, how do we handle this? That's what I really want to know. This is what I'm really curious about. Okay, bishop G5, nothing special. I was wondering if we're supposed to let that happen, because there's some lines where we do. Oof, alright. Back in the emotes we go. I definitely learned something there. I hadn't really seen that Queen B6 line at all. It was a little confusing to me. Speaking of confusing to me, how about E4, E5? Oh man. My theory ends right about here, boy. Alright, takes, I guess. Knight takes, I think it's this. I definitely do not remember what happens if like one just goes back, but I think it's something like knight f6, queen e5, and like some weird knight d5 move. Let's take would it just be bishop d7 here? Is e5 a move? We'll just go back. And he goes queen e2. Like, are we supposed to start with this? Surely not, because then knight f5. Guess we'll just do this. Not really sure what's supposed to happen here. Okay. seem to remember something about allowing this queen trade to happen if he wants. Like, if I castle here, it should be fine. But also, taking and playing b6, there's no way there's anything wrong with that. But I feel like here's what I think. I think he's about to play a4, and I'm really annoyed by him playing a5. And if I castle, I feel like he plays a4, and I can't play a5, and if I play b6, he plays a5 anyway. So I'm just gonna take and go here. We'll play a5, c5. I'm sure black can't be in like too bad shape here because this is more or less what you're supposed to do in this opening, right? Like rook here and so I'm not sure if like we're supposed to be pushing like an H pawn here to restrict g4. Kind of feels like a sort of useful move. I know we want our pawn here, and I'm pretty sure we want to play knight g6. And we definitely want to play c5. I just know the general moves we want to play. Not really sure how to put them together. Okay, I guess he wants to go here. Play c5. I'm not sure if this is an achievement for him or not. Wow. f5. So weird. Okay, I mean, guess we'll go for some squares. Knight b4 could also be a good move, but yeah, knight here, knight to c4 looks pretty annoying. This pawn structure against this knight is like perfect. Play for knight e5. Okay, goes here. I feel like this is a really good square. We do want to play bishop c6. Gonna be annoying here. Might go for like counterplay, but yeah, I'm not too sure how to evaluate that. It's a very weird pawn to defend. I don't think he's gonna defend it. I think he's gonna like go for something else. So I'd be very happy to see that move, I think. Maybe bishop c6 there. Yeah, like I said, I don't think he's just gonna defend it. If I take, what am I running into? Rook b1, but we have bishop here. I also have knight a4. Not sure provoking his rook to that square was actually very smart. I have to admit, I didn't notice knight a4 at first. Bishop c2 is kind of tempting. Let's go here, though. Obviously, we're doing well here, but well's not enough. Not yet. Guess he Yeah, I could have gone rook over. I'm not really sure how good this is. It should be a good position here. I think I was feeling pretty good here. My understanding was that I had a great position. Could be wrong. GG. Thanks Ellie2000 for 18 months. Kodiak TW, 19 months and 26 from Reliable Randy. So I don't know. I thought this was a very, very good position for me. E4, E5. Oh yeah, he did the exchange. Rui. This. D4 takes, bishop G5, queen D6. He did knight takes D4. We did bishop E7, which I think is the main move. This is like an alternative, I think. Bishop E7. He ended up taking. By the way, what is the move after this? It is knight F6 and queen E5. Yeah. He took. Knight C3, bishop D7, knight B3. See? I knew it. I even said it during the game. I was like, I know the move is castle. But I have to admit, I saw A4 and I was like, I don't really like that. Okay, he doesn't really look at A4 here. Yeah, so I knew the idea was that we spend at least one move long castling here. Sorry. Once again, am I playing queen takes D1 and B6, the absolute top variation? And long castling is not the move. I mean, long castling is definitely a great move, but can you really fault me? I'm not remembering these chessable courses because I'm just too good. My natural instincts are just too good. Queen D1 and B6, this is what I played. And look, it's literally because of what I said. Because of A4, A5. If I castle, I was disturbed by this. Man, I'm just too goddamn good. That's the problem. Just too goddamn good. Nitzud Prime. Oh man, I believe there was a triple digit, but not that I saw. So Dustin is quite officially the first triple digit resub that I have been on stream for. Nitzud Prime, 100 months. 100. Nitzud Prime is where we all aspire to be. He's resubbing for 100 months, and the guy's getting in the ring and doing some chess boxing this Saturday night, which I'm going to attend in person. Very, very much looking forward. Oof. Thank you to Nitzud Prime. $100 months is crazy. It's been such a long time. Give him one ban of whoever he wants for 100 months. Nitzud Prime is actually about to ban someone for forever on Saturday night. He's already got someone lined up. Geez, what are these long games? Here I am thinking, oh, you know, I'll play a decently long game, kind of competitive. Is this the longest title Tuesday in history? We're in goddamn round 3 or something. What's going on here? Oh, white just trolled. Jeez. All right, let's see if we can get a win here. On to the next round. It's been the tough title Tuesday. In fact, my most reliable opening this event has been E4, E5. It's my D4 that's been struggling. Although I can't fault any of the positions we've gotten. By the way, this seems to be like, I'm seeing this line everywhere. Most common by far. Let's get a win for 100 months. Surely we can. We owe Dustin that much, you know? Okay, knight c7, I guess. Just kind of continue normally here. So here I think bishop e5, f6, and we can take. Bishop d6, I feel like I'll let him take me here. That knight looks a little bad. But also takes knight e5 there. I guess I'm just going to go here. For the moment. I mean, he's almost got to play this, right? Queen here. I think it's time to put the knight in. We could play g3, and I'm not against that, but I feel like it's time to put that knight in. Here, we can play a3. I don't think either one of these pawns can be touched. Yeah, so bishop a6, totally the idea, but also c5. So I feel like in the past when I've seen b6, it's usually been the move a4 that follows up. Because if I play queen e2, he plays c5, and I mean, I don't really have knight b5. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. We're definitely significantly better, but I'm not really sure what to do. I mean, I guess I'll play a4. I feel like it's been the main answer to the move b6. Not answer, but just it feels like a move that just gets played that way. With c5. I guess that makes a lot of sense. You just power through with this, because then he'll play c4 and b5. I'm like, ugh. Okay. Guess let's play this. Try to play for f5. I don't know. Definitely don't really like the trajectory here. Don't think he'll take. He'll probably push and go for this. I don't know. Just one of those positions where, again, feels like did everything right. I don't really, don't fully feel comfortable with this knight here yet, if I'm being completely honest. Okay. Surprising a little bit, but maybe it shouldn't be. Let's just go here. I don't know. I'll try to play positional. I'll just take with the pawn. I'm gonna go here. If we play this, he's got G or H6. But yeah, we want to play Rook A4. That's the move. Yeah, definitely Rook A4 to take this and to double the rooks and to stop Queen B4. So Rook A4 is like best possible move we could play. Okay. let's start by doubling the rooks here. Would like to get an escape square before I start bringing my rooks down there. This pawn looks like maybe I don't need to rush to take it. Queen h3 to tie the knight down. Be a nice move as well. I guess he's got knight e4. I'm kind of missing this idea. As it stands, I've got this fork, but I think he could have played this on the previous turn, and it would have made sense. Although, not really a problem for me. I can always boot this knight out with f3. Here he chose a moment where I don't think it was very good to do it. Takes, we were threatening. Doesn't want to allow that. Knight c5 is about to happen, eh? Jeez. Okay. Can't take this just yet, except that. Not sure what to make of this. It was clever. Don't like I like this move because of that, but I don't like it because my rook was trapped, although he just kind of freed it up there. Okay. At least we have a chance. I think we're gonna have to put our king in front of these pawns. It's the only way to even make an attempt here. But yeah, it's not anything. It's just a draw. How do you make an attempt here? I think I played this recently, and I somehow I did this, but I think it requires them to make a mistake and go up, and then you can offer a rook trade. Otherwise, it's just the easiest draw of anyone's life. Yeah, weren't really gonna do anything there, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. These positions are overwhelming for white, like huge advantages, but I don't think I'm fully understanding or comprehending what we're supposed to do in the middle game. To me, it just looks like a nice position, but I don't really fully understand why, if I'm being honest. This knight is like, eh. So maybe something that just is part of these positions and needs to be played more is g4. I don't really know. I keep leaving this bishop here. I don't know if that makes sense. To get taken? Because that always looks like a good position to me, but I don't know. The knight on c7 should be truly awful. Knight e5? I guess knight e5 is a really good move. But g4 doesn't work that well when That can happen. Yeah, not. I don't know. This doesn't really feel like anything. So there, knight back. Uh, well, we already did this move. Let's say, yeah, but none of these moves are really like the concept of bishop d6 doesn't really get discussed in any of these variations, which is a little bit annoying. So yeah, I feel like the course not very detailed here in this particular moment, and I feel like I see this all the time. Like knight c7, bishop d6 is just not good. So I need some overall understanding, not just variations. Because I'm getting these amazing positions, truly amazing. Like you can't ask for more than this with white. Open file, nice knight, and he's kind of threatening this, so I play a4, or at least I think he is. Then he plays c5, which I wasn't really ready for. Queen f3, initially I thought, oh, we even have a threat on the rook, so no c4. But I mean, man, we really got a good position later as well, one material, but somehow with the white pieces, I'm not feeling these positions very well. Position is strong, but I don't know what to do. Definition of a London? I don't think that's true at all. I think the exact opposite is true. Position is not that strong, but I know exactly what to do. That's the London. I don't know what Londons you've been seeing. So something tells me like the computer really likes knight e5, so this move makes sense, especially with the knight here where it can't really challenge the e5 square. So I can see that knight e5 is hotly requested. Basically knight e5, bishop, and then maybe send these pawns. I don't know, we could give that a try. So we're 0.5 out of 2 with white and 2 out of 2 with black. Coincidence? Mr. Solid Balls. Not sure I can help you there, man. Those are your buddies at Twitch. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. G4 looks fun to play, but I'm not sure G4 is the idea. G4 makes more sense when this bishop is here, so there's no tension. But like, what is knight on c7? This knight is so bad, and yet somehow it felt kind of useful in our game. But we really threw a nice looking advantage. Really, really pleasant edge. This ain't it, Chief. Everyone plays this line, so I'm convinced. Not almost. I mean, maybe a few people play this at the lower ratings, but most of the 2300 to 2600s I've seen all play this. This knight b5, knight a6, c6 thing. Big cheese, thanks for the 17 months. I think we have a break right now, I forgot. Oh yeah, what's happening in in this one. Wow. Brilliancy. Wow. This guy's farming King E3 exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Miss. I mean, he does like all these exclamation marks and then... Wow, we have another game already? What the hell? Felt like we didn't even have a break. What the hell is going on here? I'm confused. What's going on? Oh no, not the white pieces again. Don't you guys know I'm trash with the white pieces now? Okay. Just taking her one game at a time here. This one is obviously not so much related to a Jabava London, but still, having to play this stuff is in the course, very much so. E5. Not sure I remember this. Hmm. Yeah, I'm really just thinking because I'm like, am I supposed to be remembering something here? I don't think so. I'm not sure there's any. Not sure there's any special sauce here. Yeah, I don't remember anything. Maybe this move isn't even in there? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't feel like this is in the course at all. I've seen stronger players than me do stuff like this. Usually it works when they do it. So we have to follow in the footsteps of giants. 18 months. Echo, echo. Thank you. Wondering if that's a callback to a great Chessbra lounge playlist song. What's the situation here? Okay. Okay. We'll just plant that bishop there, and well, that's the win condition now, boys. Jeez. Flag? Felt like that did not take me longer than a second to move. Holy smokes. 1.1. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll take a look, I guess. I don't recall that move. It's a weird move to not be there. But maybe it's just not there. That's the thing. Unfortunately, with this course, it's very much a you're on your own course. Pretty early, so it's not very useful when it comes to these sidelines. And admittedly, this isn't really the point of the course, so can't really hold someone accountable for something that's honestly not even your opening. So the fact that he even included some lines has been pretty helpful so far. I guess it's this. But I could just be totally forgetting. Let's see here. I feel like I haven't studied this ever. Because E5 is in here? I just don't think we've looked at it. Let me see. Takes. Knight takes? Okay, yeah. I definitely don't remember this. I feel like I just haven't looked at this. So, yeah, usually it'll be a case of I've looked at everything and it's not there. Or I haven't looked at it yet and it is there. And it looks like it's the latter. So there is E5, but we had definitely never seen this. Is this supposed to be good? Go Peerts. The Peerts has actually been one of the easier openings for me to handle with, I don't know, just putting the knights, pawns to the middle. But actually nobody's played E5 against me, which explains my struggle here. Everyone plays knight, I don't know, BD7, knight C6, C6, A6, all these kind of random side moves. But no one's just played the direct E5 because it's almost like a King's Indian. Yeah, I don't think I don't think I've ever seen this. Face slam anytime with white. Crucial take on e5. This is like my game, but on steroids. A better version. So I wonder what happens after h6 in that position. So if c3, h6. Okay, yeah, maybe just bishop back and continue with this f4 idea. But I was wondering, do you play f4 immediately? No, that doesn't make sense at all. Bishop e7 doesn't seem to make sense either. Yeah, maybe just bishop e3. King g7, c3, and h6. That's what I'm curious about. Where does this guy go? Could also put it on c1. That's actually not crazy at all. In fact, liking it more and more. Yeah, bishop c1 seems like a pretty cool looking move. I was thinking this to save the bishop, but maybe that's unnecessary. Okay, but can't complain about white's position here. I mean, we're doing extremely well. We do like a bishop c1. So I guess if they take first, I can't use the A rook. So we have to do this. Is the round really still going? I mean, I know my game was like kind of quick, but isn't this the weirdest title Tuesday? I'm confused. Guess the next round is starting now or something? What a weird tournament. Feels like it's taking forever. And then when there was a break, it felt like it was like there was no break at all. Yeah, Man or Monkey. Well, I was just saying all the lines that I faced. Maybe you had it muted. I was saying I face all the cagey stuff like knight bd7, knight c6, a6, c6, maybe bishop g4 as well. Yeah, basically all those moves, and somehow not e5, which is a little weird. But obviously e5 makes the most sense. Okay, knight here, bishop f4. Okay. So e3. Okay. Now, against this move, do we need to do this? No, I think we do this. Queen there, we still have this. Somehow I feel like this is the move. Definitely, but why is a3 kind of looking like it makes sense with knight b3? I guess not, yeah, because we always play that. Okay, yeah, so just this. I think this is the... I think this is the line. Honestly, this move doesn't look crazy. Okay, yeah, maybe bishop can also escape as well. But yeah, somehow this looks... It makes sense. He takes... Okay, now we get this knight d7 to c5 move. So he doesn't get to play this. That bishop is just kind of out of the game. So I think he's now going to understand this knight goes here, and he needs his bishop to go here to take it. Like, if you don't remove that knight, then it's not clear what you're doing at all. But I'm pretty sure that this is the first time that we've pretty much got to play a meaningful Budapest line out of the course. So that's nice. Knight c5 just has to be the move. The only other move I'm thinking of is rook a5 to stop this pawn from moving, and then play b6 and knight c5. And honestly, I kind of like that, because if I go here, queen b4, and he will play the move a5. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. But let's play to stop it. Let's go here. And then we'll do these two moves. So we'll try that. If queen b4, then b6. If bishop here, then knight c5. And we want a castle, of course, ASAP. But I just wanted to prevent that. So let's go here. Not sure we really care about this. Check, we can go here. And castle. There's also like moves like this. Yeah, 100% castle. Bishop check, we go here. He can put the bishop on b5, but there's always worry that the bishop there just gets trapped. He does go here. I really think he wants to put it on b5. Something about that doesn't look too convincing. So obviously we can't go here. Just go like this though. So we're kind of threatening to take, so I think he's got to move that rook. Then we could take this, for example. Takes is the current intention. We definitely want to play h6. Nice little escape square for our king. And, you know, long term, yeah, we're thinking about trapping that bishop, but it makes my pawn so weak, I really want to leave this pawn structure exactly like this. like this. And I definitely want to get h6 in. Super useful move. If I were him, maybe I'd consider going back. Yeah, let's get h6. This rook here is kind of nice. Rook there, we can do g5. We'll just repeat once more. He does that. Let's just defend. I don't know if that's the right decision, but... don't think we ever completely ruined it at all, so feel pretty okay about that. Luckily, we didn't botch a win from, you know, how many times are you going to get to use maybe the most exciting line that you learn in a course? Not too often, so definitely don't want to waste the opportunity there because this was more or less straight from the course. And also, it's kind of a shock to the system, this bishop c3 move. I think it's the coolest move in his course. And this line after knight d7 is just super, super strong. So that was nice that we were able to get that win. We can see from the course that it's pretty much all there. Knight here, bishop f4, knight c6, knight f3, bishop b4, knight d2, queen e7, e3, knight takes, bishop e2, d6, castles, a5, sorry, not a3, but knight b3, a4, a3, bishop c3, takes, knight d7, and after a4, I don't actually think I've looked at this line. I was happy with rook a5. Let's see which move is given. And yeah, rook a5 is given, not to allow a5, so that's a good sign. Queen b4. This is actually still our entire game. e6. And okay, at this point, like, yeah. I think the line is over. You don't need to be in an opening course anymore. Point is, at this point, we're left with an extremely big advantage. So that was nice. That felt natural. And all from bishop c3. Cool move. Never thought you'd see 16 moves of theory or prep on the Chessbrah channel. Well, lo and behold. TH Toaster, thanks for the 3 years, man. Bishop here. So, I don't think we play any of this stuff. I think we just go for this. But maybe after g6, instead of this, we were supposed to play this. Not sure if the order really matters, but yeah, pretty sure that's correct. Now this knight is ready to come back. So all the time with this move, I feel like the answer is rook b1. Even though to me, a3 feels so logical. a3 makes sense all the time, but I think it's rook b1 because if you play a3, at some point you'll have to answer queen b2. Like at some point this will be a threat, even though it's not right away. So I feel like this is just more solid overall. Because if I played a3 and this move happened, that would be a threat again because of queen takes. So I think that rook b1 is the better move. So here, knight b4. If we go rook c1, queen a5 or something, like, are things getting weird there? I feel like they are. Just play a3. I don't really know if playing both of those moves is stupid or not, but it feels like I always get a great feeling when I play a3. Like, locking this knight out from both those squares just always feels amazing. And this bishop, I don't think we want to go there. I think we want to go here. I imagine he's probably going to go knight e4. Okay. c5. So, again, I feel like I'm really behind in development here, so a3 is the move that doesn't feel right to me. Feels like in that position I needed something else, but okay. I think after c5, bishop e5 is kind of normal. So let's play bishop e2 and get castled. Ready to maybe trade this bishop off, I guess. Knight e4 looks so reasonable for him. Yeah, my position feels... it's like a little off. Alright, c4. I think this I can take. So it's got to be this, and then maybe I'll go knight g5. After c4, I don't really have a strong plan here. g5, unnecessary. Let's go here. Maybe you can go back now. Could be an interesting idea. Ooh, knight a4 to c5. That kind of looks spicy. Because we get to take this bishop for sure. So there won't be a situation where my knight is here and like he traps it with b6 or something. So that's nice. I think we have to take it. Otherwise we'll play here and then that situation I talked about happens. Knight takes, we'll definitely be trading. definitely should have taken first, I think, but can pretend. Keeping the queens on made the most sense, but his knight's really bad here, and maybe we could try to be annoying. His knight f6. Jeez. Wow, I missed a free pawn. No. That was an important pawn to take. Very important pawn to take. That would have been a game changer. Wow, that's a really good move by him. Now we're gonna have to go for this and block with the rook. It's our only plan. I might get mated here, but that's all we've got. This actually hits the rook as well. Jeez. Hmm. I think with the split pawns, it should be pretty easy. It's not so easy. But easy. Had to think for a second there. What did we do? Oh yeah, lost a whole piece. I forgot. I was wondering what happened in this game. Okay, knight e4, obviously take, and then do our moves. I think black's a little bit better, maybe, just because it looks like they're the one doing something. So I preferred my opponent's position, but again, like, what am I supposed to do? It's definitely not, definitely does not feel, doesn't feel that good. Now, the thing is, the most frustrating thing is, I feel like I just need to understand it much deeper, because my opponents are playing lines that I would not consider to be very, like, good or dangerous. Jeez, we're back here again. Barely have any time. So it's almost like I'm following the... It's like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm getting the positions I'm supposed to get, but I still don't like them. Or still don't know what to do with them. So that's what I'm experiencing right now. Oh, not this again. Is it going to be this? No, D4. Oh, jeez. Hang on a sec. D4. I think I played a guy. I thought that I was doing the right variation. Okay, well, I'll take it, I suppose. I remember playing a guy and I played like bishop before, obviously not here, but I played like bishop before check, and I don't think it was the move. Okay. This. So knight takes, bishop c5. Jeez. Here. My brain hurts. I have to take this. Queen takes d5. Now I think it's queen e7. So the pawn is hanging. But he's gonna castle. Yeah, surely we take this. Not sure there's any advantage to starting with these moves. Knight c3. We just take again. What's the situation here? There's like some precise moves coming up, you know. Takes again, I guess. Rook c1, I guess. Queen d4. Holy smokes. So if knight here, queen d3? Okay, but what about rook d8? He's playing knight d5. I understand. I'm gonna play this because I feel like the knight on this square is actually really good. So even though he plays that, let's just move the rook. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, so hanging stuff. I think I played it properly, but I knew that at some point we're just gonna take like a massive L because it just takes me so long to figure out the right moves. Um, we tried. We tried, we failed. only so much I can do. I am definitely at some point just gonna take a massive L from I think probably every move was like okay. Sure, I messed up maybe one or two near the end of that line, but I'm just racking my brain trying to remember these. So of course that's just gonna happen. I have no experience playing any of that. So what the hell was that? Knight. Oh, a bishop c4. And the thing is, like, these losses don't bother me one bit because as soon as you have one of them, you just never forget. You just never forget. Like, let's say that I happen to get most of those moves right. We're just not going to forget that going forward. So, e5, d5, bishop b5, knight e4, knight takes d4. Okay, this much I felt confident about. I think I played somebody in my series who also did this. Takes rook b8. So queen takes d5. And yeah, I definitely knew the move was queen e7. Takes. And then I knew there were two moves here. If knight a3, I'm trying to remember. But knight a3, strangely enough, I feel like the move might have been rook b4 or something. Rook b6. With the idea knight c4, we have bishop e6. Okay, but anyway, knight c3. And I knew that this was, like, again, we have the line perfectly correct here. So it's just a matter of, like, obviously next time I play it, I'll just play it instantly, because now I know they're the right moves. But in the game, I was like, is this the right move? I think so. So takes, queen d4. So again, this is like theory. I'll play knight e6 and get it wrong if it's wrong, but once again, it was correct. Rook b2 is correct. Knight here. Queen c5 correct. Rook there. Queen d4 correct. So you gotta give me some credit. You gotta give me some credit. I did get that exact whole line correct. And black is fine here. But of course I had 1 second. I had 1 second, so I just got absolutely obliterated. Queen f5, you know. He just making a move just to keep energy on the board, pieces on the board, you know. And he played the line very well as well. He went queen here. It just looked like a tricky looking move and, you know, kept material on the board, so it was tough to handle. And yeah, at some point, the course is just going to have to be like, okay, and I'm going to leave you with it now. Hope you're okay, buddy. But black still has some work to do. Which move do I like? Wait, rook e2, rook f d1? What's wrong with this? Wow, what kind of sauce is this? Takes f4? White apparently is doing very well. Okay. Okay. Yes, king h8, and black plays for the win. This stops knight e7, and prepares knight d4. So maybe queen h4 I can get behind. And if g3, do we hit him with it anyway? We do, knight d4. Knight d4, queen d3. Ooh, I like that. Okay. d4, queen d3. Yeah, this position looks suspect. Queen g4, rook c4. That looks interesting. Definitely very fun position to play for white. Queen h4, g3 is not really doing it for me. Because no one's really going to play this move, I think. These e4, e5 positions, by the way, like this chess.com engine doesn't do it justice. I feel like e4, e5 is the one where you definitely need like a powerful engine looking at what you're doing. Um, hmm. So basically, I remembered the whole chessable line and then flagged. Not bad, not bad. Ethan, thanks for the 9 months. Catch, 64, 31 months with Prime. Chewy Boudros, 43 months. Apex Monkey, 5 months with Prime. Water Power, 100 with the 48 months. 4 years with us on the exact day. Dr. Pharaohs, thank you, buddy. 19-month resub. Languish Lobster, 42 months with Prime. Unbanned, good to see him. Ant Beckman, a brand new Prime sub. Big Deutsch, 19 months also with Prime. And CM Sirius leading the way, 38 months with Prime. Hey, Ben, how you doing, buddy? I don't think I was here for your moment. I saw Big Dustin join your club, Ben. He hit us with the 100 just today, literally today. T Kepler, thank you very much, man. T Kepler 43, 35 months, going on 3 years. I definitely still stream the TTs. But yeah, Queen F5, is this not a very good move? Kind of feels like there are many more answers here, especially because my pieces, the quality of White's pieces is much higher than mine. Takes B2 to knight C3. This is one of those positions where you're like, you and the engine have to team up and somehow find some beautiful. Because Rook D8, again, this engine never does E45 positions justice, so I can't take it seriously. But Rook D8, I imagine once you put it on the board, it'll find something that it likes a little bit more about White's position. Queen F3 will always be the answer. Knight coming in. Queen E5, I guess, it's just not good enough. And yeah, there's some advantage developing for White that you really just need to squeeze and neutralize. Because point 3, point 4 here can definitely be basically equal. That's not a serious enough advantage. But it does indicate that it's much easier to play for White, which I don't love. Queen f5 is annoying move. The thing is, okay, it's been 18 moves. He has to leave the position somewhere, so I don't really blame him, but need some kind of idea what's going on here. Because to be fair, even if I had more time on the clock, I probably wouldn't have found a tremendous move here. Obviously, with 1 second, we panicked and just went for some random move. But even with more time on the clock, I'm not sure that we could have done much. Do you have the course as well? Atalante? Load to Anthony. Fish on fish. That's a lot of threes. Tier 3, 33 months. Thank you, man. Welcome back, Fish. Will we see Fish at the chess boxing? Is Fish making the trip? See the IRL KO? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling with a few of them. Atalante. Because this, it's not very convincing to me. But then I'm wondering, you know, how to handle this. Maybe that line just doesn't happen so often, but obviously this guy has got it figured out, you know. I'm not sure there's another way to do it. All this looks really forced, right? I think this whole line is pretty forced. Hassles. Yami Red 73. Thanks for the year. 1 full year. So, oh, okay. We're back. Didn't even realize that was a new game starting. Definitely a very good Title Tuesday for practicing lines because everything is being tested here today. Takes. This would take. Is this good for black? He seems a little strange about this. I don't know. Knight b5 looks strong. Okay, e5. Wow. e5. What the heck? I mean, at the bare minimum, I can take and take, right? I don't trust this at all. Yeah, I mean, maybe just take it. Maybe there's knight here. No, but I can't take these moves seriously. Has to be captures. Okay, there's also bishop b5 here. Like, so many things. I like bishop b5. Here, there is knight takes, and then knight b5. So that's kind of interesting. There's also takes, knight b5. And it's like, what are you doing about knight c7, man? It's literally something you cannot stop. It looks so annoying. Takes, knight b5 looks ruthless. I actually don't see any moves for him. He literally has to play like one of these moves, as far as I can see. I guess it's time for king e7. It's annoying, of course, because you're blocking your bishop, and like then you can't take the c pawn right away. I feel like bishop c4 is the appropriate follow-up. He decides to take. Holy Chad. Bishop here. Okay, but he's just going to be down material. So, clever, I guess. Because at least he can keep pieces on after this. I'd love to take, to simplify. Do I like the position, though, after knight h3? Because it's hard to evict that knight on g4. I don't really like that, I have to say. It looks wrong, but letting the pieces stay on the board seems even worse. Don't really like my options, to be quite honest with you. This is annoying. See, you can't ever move this rook now. It's not correct. It's not correct. It's not exactly how it's supposed to go down here. That seems like a funny move, but maybe it's good. Unlucky. Maybe fortunate. Hmm. What was the opening again? Oh yeah, this. Yeah, but actually I didn't really have a good answer here. I'm really curious what I'm supposed to play here. It's like, yeah, it actually is bishop g4, knight h3, but to be honest, this position is really uncomfortable. Because you have to play with like only one piece for a really long time. Can't move this rook, can't move this knight, and then this seems to always allow this. It's actually quite weird. Don't know what this opening was. Looked really bad once again. Yeah, I mean, e5 is just just a massive blunder. Not sure what e5 is, but ugh. To some degree, I guess we've seen some important lines that are good to know, but then you've got games like this, or even some of the other games that I've lost, or what were some of them? Yeah, so this one was really good. This one was important because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I have overall doubts about this entire line because I played it all correctly. Yeah, I can definitely do it faster in the future, but this position doesn't feel sturdy to me at all. So this was important because honestly, kind of makes me doubt the whole line. This game we just played was kind of a waste of time because just like terrible, yeah, just like really bad play. Not really concerning. And this game, oh yeah, this game was really good for us as well. Apparently there's a whole chapter I just hadn't even looked at with E5. So this game was great. What else did we have? Yeah, even this one as well. I don't think I'm playing these properly. I think we need more 95 like this. But instead I'm just kind of castling and maybe not getting as much of an advantage. So hmm. Yep, this game was helpful as well. And then we had a few like kind of cool. I mean, I was looking at all the losses or draws. We had this game, we won. What was that? We'll look at it after. But overall, I feel like it's been pretty useful because we've seen a bunch of different lines that we haven't seen yet. E4. What was wrong with castling in the last game? Well, black plays E3, and I thought that was annoying. Pretty sure. H3. I think E3. Bishop A4. Okay, let's go here. Castles. All right, what's the situation here? A4. I don't think we're in this in the business of playing B4, but let's just play this. C3. We have to play D6 because the move D4 is happening. Okay. So he's playing in what I would say is like most natural way. Castles? Definitely castle here. Don't think there's any reason to take on D4. And if bishop G5, I think we want a castle. B3. I think it's rook E8 here. E8, knight D2. think I'm about to play H6, but I have a feeling it's something different. Somehow this move looks a little bit out of place. Well, speaking of out of place, that move looks a little out of place. What? Guess we'll do this. Here we can take, maybe. I just know some people put that thing there in this line. Some people, they do it. Smart people do it. Mm. Yeah. I think I was pretty happy with that, honestly. That felt pretty good. I'm really curious about maybe this moment, but that felt pretty good. E4, E5, easily the toughest thing that just drives me crazy. I know absolutely nothing about this opening. And I have to say, that felt pretty good. The thing is, the more games I play like this, where I'm thinking and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm trying to remember, the more games that I actually do that, like, for example, like this variation, I'm just going to remember that I've played it before and I'll be able to play it again way quicker. So, unfortunately, it's kind of unremarkable to look at right now, but games like this, if I see that line again, I'll just have a different confidence because I'm like, you know what, I played that before and it actually worked out well. But when I'm playing the game, I don't know that it's working out well. So let's see how we did. I still am a little shaky on it. So I thought I did sleazy, but if I'm not mistaken, and this is what I'm about to find out, whether bishop b7, knight e7, as you mentioned, was with a4 or without a4, because that's what is the tricky part about e4, e5 for me, is that a4, whether it's like in the position or not in the position, I feel like it throws everything off. So a4, rook b8, c3, d6 here, bishop b6, a5 here. And so I couldn't remember if we had moved the a pawn last time or not. So what was it? h3? So h3 was castle. And I think I had this one right because you know the line that I remembered in the game was after h3 castle. Well, let's do it here. Bishop e3. The reason I knew that I had rook e8 correct was because here there's that line pawn takes, bishop takes, bishop f4, queen d5. And I think that's, I just remember this weird line where, you know, rook a8 at the end. Knight e5, I think. Knight takes, bishop e6. Yeah, and so because I knew that this line existed, whatever this one is, I knew that I was doing the right, I was on the right track here. So castles and rook e8, I think was all right. Trying to get the get the thing to remember where we are. Still confused. If you ever take the pawn, you always have to watch out for bishop d5. But again, e4, e5 is so specific, Talk, so unfortunately I'm not really sure I could answer you in terms of like, oh yeah, just take that pawn. Like, it's just never that easy. Unfortunately, it's a lot of theory, and things aren't usually just hanging for no reason, or like there's usually a reason why we can't if you don't see it being taken immediately. All right, so we'll play our last game here. I'm pretty happy with today's games. These have been really good reminders. Okay, a6, a6, e6. So I think this one we go g4. Knight c6 will castle. Now this is a line for sure that I don't know that much about. All I know about this line is queen here and some bishop c7 in this line, but literally that's it. So that feels like pretty subpar knowledge going into this. Like, I saw one line, I think it was way back in the quick starter, and I haven't seen anything since. So, like, how about this? Really simple idea. How do we feel about that? So maybe I should go here to lend some support, but also on this bishop move, I guess we're playing knight e2. Meanwhile, we can try for bishop c7. I just think the queen belongs here. Off this diagonal, supporting as much as we can. And yeah, knight e2, I think it's an important move next. Knight b4, just king b1. Knight b6, I was even thinking bishop c7 is a weird, annoying pin. Get him from behind. Yeah, so bishop here, I was going to go knight here. Feels weird to block the bishop, but I think this bishop can be useful over here as well. And we do have this move. It'll kind of force her to go e6, I guess, which I guess is not a massive concession for black, but still. I like this position. I feel like bishop here, b6, even bishop d6 or a3 there must yield a pretty nice position for me. We can also just go h4. But what is black going to do on the queen side? That's what I'd like to know. Let's just find out what our attack looks like. Because I do think bishop c7 and maybe a3. Because I don't think bishop takes is any good. Maybe a3. Try to get this capture. I was actually really liking bishop c7, a3. But I'll go for this and we'll just see how it turns out. Yeah. So knight b6, I think it's a very good move. My thing with knight b6 was I was always intending bishop c7 as a method because I can't stop knight c4. So I'm just going to put this bishop here. This is a random pin. I don't know if this works, but only thing I can think of for black is bishop here, rook here, takes, and rook here to try to play knight c4. But I mean, that's a lot. There's a lot happening there. Let's just play g6. That's a lot of moves for black, and you're sacking material. So, I mean, if it works, it works. Alright, whatever. If it works, it works. Okay. I guess bishop h3, just kind of like get a piece out, do something with it. Still, this queen is weirdly trapped in here, and this bishop is pinning it, so I feel like most of black's pressure just doesn't exist yet. And this sack, I don't know. I'm not fully convinced by it. But it might be what you have to go for, I don't know. But I'm fully giving up the idea of ever trading on c4 for the knight, so this will be a scary thing to deal with. Knight here, like bishop a3 or something. Like, so many sacrifices that concern me. I feel like I need a prep move or a safety move, like rook d3, knight d1, or king b1. I need something to make me feel a little more comfortable here. But yeah, if black doesn't do this, I'm not sure what they do. So, I mean, I guess we'll prepare for that. Knight e7, okay. Maybe for knight f5. I guess we're gonna take this. Feels kind of bad. Taking was probably the right idea. Let's go here. So I think we might get mated after knight c4, but whatever. We'll just take the mate. Let's take that. Just go here. Just looks like a useful move. Oh, I can't take it. I can't take it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mated myself. I couldn't take it. Oh man. GG. Obviously, we actually kind of climbed out of it a little bit. Knight a4 was more resourceful than I thought, but at that point, I was just tossing things because I thought I was lost. But once again, though, we're getting a lot of games and a lot of lines that, truthfully, we haven't really dove into. So I'm really happy to see all these games because literally the only thing I know about this line is one variation, and it was this, and this. That's the only thing I've ever looked at in this line, and that is no information. I know nothing about this line. Like, what the hell is this? This is all I'm going off. And I'm supposed to have my king, like, castle, like, black's gonna have all these threats. I'm like, where the hell do the pieces go, folks? Queen a5. So, I feel like we played it pretty well. After castles, though, it is a little bit reassuring to know that I was actually correct. So, maybe this is in the course. I'm about to go check, but I was correct. My instincts were correct. Sending it with the pawns is often what I failed to do in the Jobava London, so I decided to just do it. It's fun to watch. Attacks on both sides, but I was right. Bishop c7 is by far the best move, and after b6 to play a3. So, go me. This is just a massive +2 advantage. Bishop takes a3 is just not enough. There's just not enough threats there. Well, first of all, there's not any threats there. I can just take it, and we can play bishop to d6 as well to trade this guy off if we want. And once we achieve this, there's no knight coming to b6. It's so long until black makes any meaningful threat, so this just would have been a big improvement on the position already. So good to know that my instincts were on the right track. I wanted to play bishop c7 mainly because that was kind of the whole point of queen g3. Was we played it in that other line, but GG's. We only lost, 50, 60, about 60 points. We lost to 2,400, 2,500, 2,500, 2,500, like just 2,500s every game. But with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 games, which seemed like my opponents just played really poorly, we got some pretty interesting lines. We won a pretty cool game in the Budapest. But yeah, I'm not really playing these tournaments to get a good score. Like, I'm definitely trying every single game to win, but I'm using it more as like an opening review. So yeah, I'll easily tank all 3 of my minutes to try to get the line right and try to remember it and just take the L. Which is pretty much what's been happening here. I've been getting outplayed, out-theoried by CMs, 2,500s, everyone. Everyone's feasting on me right now, but we're in the process of molding, we're sculpting the theoretical god, and we're in the sculpting process right now. Benny Guitar, thanks for the 9 months. So, which games were actually interesting here? Maybe my game against Valentinian, should probably review that one. You heard they're doing an official UTT now? I think they've been doing that for a very long time, no? A couple months, right? At least. They saw the success of Underdog Title Tuesday and had to capitalize, you know? What was this? Oh, this was the Italian. Oh, okay. We'll definitely check this. So what were my games? You're confused? Was I not trying? No, I'm always trying. That's one thing I don't think anyone here could truly ever hear me say. I'll come up with my excuses, but I'll never say I'm not trying. Which is why whenever people beat me, sometimes they're even like, oh, you probably weren't trying, or you let me win. It's like, no. I don't like losing. So I never like to lose on purpose. But I will do things like go way down on time, which makes the likelihood of me losing much higher. And yes, I did it intentionally because I wanted to try to remember the lines and variations that I've been studying, because that's really what I was using this tournament for. So I was definitely trying. I mean, you saw me, even with a couple seconds, like I'm still trying to get the moves out, trying to play the best moves. But I am definitely making it harder for myself, and that is intentional. So we are putting ourselves at a handicap. If I could remember the things faster, then I would move faster. Put it that way. So if only that brain worked a little bit better. So this guy, then we had this game. Let me just pull up all these games here. Let me pull up all these games. Okay, this one. Oh yeah, we kind of looked at this. This is still a good one to look at. So it was this, then this. This game I was actually really happy with. And this. Every game was so useful today because it was like definitely a line that I hadn't really seen before. My favorite game by far is this game. Just because I finally got to play this bishop c3 move, which just feels kind of cool. So gave me a nice advantage as well. That was nice. Yeah, I did not know what was going on here. This game, we got rocked. Even though I remembered the entire line correctly, he played it in like 2 seconds, I played it in 3 minutes, right? Literally took him 30 seconds to play this line, and it took me 3 minutes. So this is what I mean, like these guys, 2500 chess.com blitz, like people know these openings way better than me. Like I've been studying them for like 2 weeks. These guys definitely know what's going on. Okay, this game was actually just kind of a waste. Yeah, he just didn't play very well. This game was great. And then this game was the last one. Okay. So what was first? It was this. Let's have a look. Okay, so this was e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, d3, and I think here it was knight c3. So knight c3 is not really given as a move here. I think maybe he did knight c3 first. Oh no, he did, maybe he did h3? He did h3 first. h3 is not really given either. But I think the closest, like a4, knight b2, d2, and c3, none of these moves are part of it. So castling is the best that I'll be able to do here. And then knight c3 or h3 right now. So h3, we would go g5. But knight c3, we would go knight a5. And this is what I remembered, so I decided to go knight a5 here. I think that was a reasonable decision. He played h3. I don't really know if g5 makes any sense here, because usually you play d6 before g5. That's kind of what I've learned. So for example, of all the moves given here, castles, we play d6. c3, we play d6. Knight bd2, we play d6. a4, we play d6. So it's useful to understand that d6 is just the next move, period. So that's why after h3, I feel like d6 is the right idea. Because after castles, the move is d6, and then h3, we play g5. So I think I'm right to play h3, d6. Now, If he castles, we would play g5. I want to look at this variation. Knight c3, d6. There's no h3 to look at. There's only castles. And I did check these lines. These are the ones with like bishop f7, b4 after c6 or something. So I think I'm pretty fair to go d6, knight c3, and then say, okay, well, I mean, g5 is playable, but I think whenever we see this, we pretty much go knight a5. So I thought this made a lot of sense. And if you went for the same stuff, I feel like we just go here. d4, d5 is crazy. Wow. Looking for all the smoke. d5, goddamn. This looks wild. Yes, allowing knight takes e5 check. Precisely. Precisely. Are you ready to play moves like this, Sleazy? Are you ready to play moves like king e6? High energy moves? Or are you a king g8 kind of guy? King g8 kind of guy. I mean, this is quite the line. King g8? Okay, obviously you have to take this piece, no? a3 being recommended? Okay, let's just say here. I can't take a3 seriously. d4 with this? Wow. Look at this line. d4, bishop d2? Are we high right now? What? I don't know what these variations are, boys, but let me just say, I think we had the right idea with knight a5. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that looks like a reasonable move. 80, thanks so much for the raid. I just played Title Tuesday. I lost to everybody. But in fairness to me, I'm learning some new openings using Chessable, which I invite you guys to learn along with me because you get to see me be a total noob in openings that I basically haven't played before. So I'm reviewing my games from the tournament and kind of comparing them against the course at the moment. Learning is great, Sente. Well, I'd hope that you have that opinion if you're here for this. So, yeah, we're not going to get all these lines perfect, but I do think h3 makes sense to do what I did. Okay, castle, d6, h3, and it wants us to just go g5. Wow. d5. Holy smokes. F6. Jeez, I don't think I would have ever thought of this move. This move is actually fully beyond me. I would never have considered that. Holy F6? So takes, I guess rook takes. And what about bishop takes here? We just have compensation, huh? We just have it. It's just understood that we have it. Rook g6 after that. Threatening bishop h3. Opening up the bishop here. Maybe knight d4 after. Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. TGZ. The 600 Blitz God. Kostek, man, thanks for the brand new Prime. Parasox. Love me a good Parasox. Especially a half a year reset. Jaximus Primus, thanks for the 10 months with Prime. Stokilla, 27 months with Prime as well. C. Wesley, 2000, thanks for the 8. Kingslayer, 7546, brand new Prime. 9 months from John Likes Jumpers. Redson, thanks for the 52-month Tier 3 reset. And we will shout out again 80, thanks for the raid. Appreciate that a lot. Sean Kerrigan, cheers for the 2 years. So this was the first game, and honestly, it was kind of smooth. Knight a5 just made sense. I don't necessarily agree with my moves after. Like, maybe we could have done better, but I think we're always going to be okay going c6, and yeah, we had the 2 bishops. So I thought I was pretty happy with this game. So this, however, this game, queen b6 early. Again, a3 makes so much sense, but rook b1 is the recommendation. So a lot of people played this e6 move, knight a6 against me today, c6, and let's say queen b6. So let's look at a few variations here. I think I might have already studied these. I can't remember, but let's look at these. So rook b1, bishop b4, knight f3. Very weird to me because I have to say my instinct is that knight e4 and queen a5 are happening, and I don't know why we're not scared. Must be knight d2 or something. Yeah, it is knight d2. Capturing on c3 and taking the pawn would be willingly drinking poison. Oh. All right, I'm not going to take it. And we go g4 again. Queen of bishop slightly misplaced. Critical to attack on the king's side. Don't focus too much on memorizing the ideas. Once you analyze the general ideas, you'll see them show up in varying structures. I think he means the moves. You definitely do want the ideas. I want to do this. All right, we'll castle. So 95 and g4. But I also, have to pay attention to the fact that when the knight's on f3, nobody's caring about knight h5 in any of these lines. So I guess the idea is bishop e5. I'm not sure. Bishop d3. So knight f3 and just bishop e2 castle. So we're never caring about knight h5, which is interesting to me. Rook d8 g4. Yeah, these positions make more sense to me, though. One thing I can say is that the move a3, Hans doesn't really like including. So I need to maybe get out of the a3 habit and into the rook b1 habit. Thanks for the 27 months there, Hella. Bishop e7. I think I had a game like this. So again, we just don't care about knight h5, which is interesting. I have to get used to that. g4. So if the knight just goes back, we just play knight e5, and we're convinced already that white has a clear edge. So I imagine we're about to learn that f6 is the only move that is playable. Oh yeah, I think I've seen this. I think I've seen this line before. I think it was in the preview of the course. f6, rook g4, e5, knight takes e5, and you just play down the exchange here. I actually really like this line. It makes a lot of sense. Rook f7, king d2. It's quite impressive. Hanging a pawn with check, but after bishop e2, you'd have to then go back and defend g7, and that's an important tempo. So, pretty impressive. This line definitely does make sense to me. But the way that we got to this position was black playing queen b6, and we didn't play rook b1. We played a3. a3 the engine really likes, but rook b1, I think the engine likes just as much or maybe more, with the exception of perhaps queen a5. But I think if you look deeper, it'll probably like this more. And the reason is that I play a3, And yes, you can't take the pawn, but I do feel that eventually you have to play rook b1 anyway. Whereas if you start with rook b1, you're like, okay, use the b4 square, but I'm not going to spend 2 moves on the queen side. So the key, definitely, and all the reason that the engine doesn't really like this move as much, doesn't like it as much, is all to do with this. Now, it's interesting that... So this was the line that we just looked at, by the way. Takes, I think it was bishop e2. And... I think this is what we just saw. I think he started with bishop b4 first, but doesn't really matter. Bishop b4. Knight f3, queen a5. Knight d2. Castle. Bishop e2. And was it knight b8 to play knight d7? Yeah, knight d7 and castle. I think that was the line we just looked at. So at f3, queen a5, knight d2, castle, bishop e2, and knight b8. So c5, I imagine, is definitely going to be the move I'd like an answer to. Castles takes. I mean, by the way, I'm also curious about this hanging pawn that we've been intentionally hanging literally the whole game, but I guess that's less of a concern. These lines are so funky. Like queen c1. I feel like queen c1 is to play rook b5. Queen c1. So that if, let's say if something like this happens. The rook b5 move? Or I guess it's pinned right now, so this wasn't really what I was talking about. Let's say this. I feel like here, rook b5 and knight b1. It's kind of, I think it's the plan. Weird position. So it's like, great, I get that, but queen c1 is a funny move to play. Bishop b4, and to not play knight e2 and to instead play knight f3 is also kind of remarkable. So knight f3, queen a5, and knight d2 is a clear decision here. But after knight d2 castle, we don't play a3 here. We just play bishop e2. I don't know. What am I supposed to do with this line? Queen c1 just feels like such a strange move. I'm not sure I fully agree with this. What do you guys think? I want to make sure you're not taking positions that make truly no sense to you when they're not necessary. It's actually a boxing belt in the background. I won that doing chess boxing, believe it or not. So, honestly, queen b6, what did I do in my game? I did a3, he did bishop e7. Like, this just feels so much smarter. Like, why am I dealing with all these nonsense lines? bishop here. The only reason why it was quite tricky in my game is I was a little bit bothered by knight h5, but maybe I shouldn't have been. So, you know what? I might end up continuing to play the move that I played anyway, because it literally just looks better. Like, it stops all three pieces from going here, and even if we have to play rook b1, it feels so damn good. So I think rook b1 now is fine to play, because it needs to happen anyway. But let's say knight f3. Remember, queen takes pawn, knight a4 always traps the queen. So knight here. Let's look at knight h5, because that's my main question about this situation. And it seems like bishop g5 is always the answer. Yeah. We always have knight a4. It does, Anthony, but a lot of times in this course at least, knight h5, we've like left the bishop here and allowed takes. So it wasn't that I didn't have any clue what to do, but I wanted to make sure that I was choosing the right option. Bishop d3, c5, 1. I mean, I guess you kind of have to play rook b1. Knight a4 doesn't really get things done. Has to be better, but I'm not really sure to what degree. Rook b1, bishop d7, I suppose. This knight needs to return at some point. I like a3 a lot more than rook b1, that's for sure, but honestly, I still always question the move knight h5. Like, still doesn't quite feel like we have a lot. Which is why I started with rook b1. I think knight here would be the exact same thing after this. Yeah, I just feel like black takes, goes knight back, goes c5, and so what was my game? I did bishop d3, because I was still trying to control h5. He did c5, of course, makes a lot of sense. Then I did knight f3, and then we saw knight h5, which somehow, to me, felt a little bit off. But it wasn't the case at all. Bishop e5 I thought was kind of clever, but turns out no. but it's because of c4. Because I definitely was ready for this. I think I was going to play knight g5. I'd have to just play more games in this and just see how it feels. But honestly, I might go a3. MapRail, thanks for the 55 months. Oof, I'm trying to keep up with everyone here, MapRail. Thanks for the tier 3, 55 months from MapRail. Oof. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to just play this some more times. But, okay, it's not a dangerous line, that's for sure. It's not like, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll, like, immediately lose. So, that's at least a good thing. So, maybe I could pick either one, but maybe we just a3 and play it again. Like, these positions I don't mind, like, you know, whatever. This wasn't one where it's like, hey, if we don't know what we're doing, we're in big trouble, so I'm okay with it. But I have to say, I'm not fully convinced by these rook d1 lines after this. So I have to look at them some more. Because this I get, but when black plays c5 quickly, it feels uncomfortable. And c5 now, I'm sure that we could interpret, but okay, bishop b5 takes and queen g4. Noted. Here, and is there any g5 right away or anything like that? I think not. What about the move g4 here? Is it crazy? Just that blue. Thanks for the 43 months. Hey, man. How's it going? Yeah, the mods are here. The mods are here. CD Hill, thanks for the 8 months. Yeah, this doesn't look very appetizing. Maybe black is gonna drink some poison and take this. Okay, well, we'll leave that one. This was the next game, which I felt pretty good about. I think we briefly checked, but this was all stuff that we had seen. Knight c3, bishop d7, knight b3. So we actually remembered basically the whole line. But it's interesting, once again, I had a lot of moments where I was not in agreement with the Chessable course I was studying from. If you ask me, in this position, what should black play? Long castle is in the Chessable course, but I just can't get over not playing queen takes queen and b6. This position just looks so good. Right? We have c5, maybe a5 coming. We have long castle, rook e8, exactly what I did in the game, and I was feeling pretty good about this. So I think I would have to play a bunch of games in this line and take some L's for me to want to switch to long castle. But once again, I think I'm going to go against the course and take on d1, rook d1, and just go b6. I loved my decision to do that in the game. And I thought we got a tremendous position. So I was really happy with how we played this. So again, maybe I'd have to, take a big L and learn the hard way, but was pretty happy with this game. But the other thing, Gob, while I definitely don't want to base this fully off chess.com engine, because you never should. As I said, E45, it's the worst time to use the chess.com engine. Like, there'll always be something there. But what I will say is that by castling, White's presented with many options. Here, 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 like just stuff I have to deal with. And when I take, I clarify the position immediately into an endgame, which is kind of what I want to play. I feel like the whole reason you play this opening is to play an endgame. So, I don't know. I'm probably just going to do this, take the queen, and just go b6. And if I start getting destroyed in that line, then I'll understand, you know, long castle is the best move for a reason. But I think it's much easier. Yeah, Riddick, I was actually talking to Fabi. So I see now that it was just released. So that's really cool. Fabi's Ruy Lopez. So as you can see here, it's the Archangel, so it synergizes really well with what we're learning right now. And when I ran into Fabi in Barcelona, you guys remember that? You guys remember that video of me having the hot peppers with Fabi? I spoke to him a little bit about what he was doing because he was there recording his Chessable course, and it's exciting to see it released here because I think that it'll synergize really well, and it might be a good thing to pick up. So I think this will be a pretty good follow-up to something like this E45 because this specializes in it, and you're just not going to get anyone more up-to-date than Fabi. Also, it's pretty meaningful to take a course that's recent, right? It'll always be a better feeling to study something that was released, like, you know, at the end of 2023. Even though on Chessable, I think they keep their courses up to date, there's only so much like confidence you can instill in me if I'm working from a course from 2015. It's like, oh yeah, we kept it up to date. It's like, I probably want the work that someone did, you know, releasing in 2023. But anyhow, that is very cool. Go Fabi. I'll probably be getting that course myself as a follow-up. But for now, let's just say I'm okay with queen takes queen. I thought this was a good game, and I'm not really going to spend time learning like all these variations where I have to put up with learning move after move, right? Like long castles, I have to learn queen h5, queen f3, queen e2, and it's like, why? Why? Why do I need to learn these moves? When I could just take the queen and play the endgame, which is what I want to do anyway. So, yeah, I'm happy enough taking it. Okay, this line here was again the same thing here, but instead of queen b6, we saw knight c7, which I don't think is actually covered in the course. And I think the habit that I need to get into here is to play knight e5 and g4, I believe. I think that's what needs to be done. Nicola, 54 months and 1,000 bits. It's attaching $10 to his name every time. His calling card. That's how I know it's him. Thank you, Nicola. Good to see you and your Jets. What is that? 2 in a row? The Jets without Rodgers. Maybe the Jets just needed to sign Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't actually need to play. Just the fact that they signed him motivated the team. What a great story. Which Discord did you join, Mannered Monkey? You're saying you joined his Discord or the C Squared Discord, or what Discord are you referring to? Oh, C Square. Okay. Weebs, yes, everywhere. Okay, I did this. Is it not like bishop b4 here? Maybe we go for this knight d2 move again. This knight d2 idea is not crazy. And were there any comments, Mannered Monkey? In for details. Wow, we got a prime from Canadian Gaze. Go Canadian Gaze. Horsey, thanks for the 6 months with Prime. So bishop d3, bishop takes f4 seems to make sense. I think the only real consideration is this, but we can go here. So bishop d3 makes sense by me, but knight e5 is the move that I think I need to start playing more in this particular setup, because then you kind of get things, like, let's say castles, probably bishop d3. And like you're hitting this, so you're stopping b6. There's no knight d7. Just feels like there's a lot of success to be had here. c5. Wow, c5, the only move being taken, is unusual to me. So I feel like the whole way that we want to play is with g4, but that looks completely off here in this position. The one thing the knight on c7 does is it lets you play c4 and then b5 really quickly. So it's actually kind of useful on c7 in that sense. But after c5, I don't think I've been taking really in any of these positions, so I'm not sure. Not that it's bad, but I'm not sure we want to. Not sure we want to start. This isn't really in the course, so nothing to see there, I think. But no, we definitely played it okay. Yeah, so taking on c5 makes a lot of sense to me, especially because I've seen Danya's course with Portnik, and yeah, takes and like a3, bishop's great on d3. So I understand that. But I guess I just haven't seen that in this course that I'm using so much. That doesn't seem to be a move that we play, so that's why I'm staying away from it. But that makes sense that don't know, in a position like this that you would take and play a3 or castle, for example, and go knight e5. And then eventually I think the plan might be e4, something like that. But yeah, the knight on c7 looks a little bit awkward here. Okay, and then this, for Mr. Kurtz himself, I just don't think we had ever looked at e5, so this caught us off guard because we hadn't ever seen it. Knight f3, bishop g7, bishop e2, castle, castle. And yeah, so many moves here. c6, there's 10 variations. I feel like I've only seen one after a4. Bishop g4, knight c6, knight b7, a6, e5. Yeah, we looked at e5 just now. And I think we concluded we were supposed to take. But I'm not sure we looked at all of these. Yeah, we looked at 2. I guess we could only expect it to be slightly better here. And knight f6 can be played in this position. Imagine it's not like terrible for black, but yeah, pretty uncomfortable. Pretty uncomfortable. What was wrong with the way I played it? I had no clue. What I did was like, this one is an example of like what I did made no sense because I just didn't have a clue what I was doing. Just playing moves that look normal, but it really helps to have an idea in this one. To have a clear plan of action, so to speak. Oh, bishop d4. Played the last round today. Did we? Maybe you mean second last round? Hello, buddy. I think this was the second last round, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was just looking at all my games. Basically, I'm playing openings that I've never learned until maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm definitely operating at probably like a 2200 understanding level. So we're trying to improve, trying to reach your level. Very good game though. That game I remember was good practice. I was pretty happy with how we played it, but that was good practice for me. Trying to remember what I saw in my course. Yeah, so this is what I did, and it's like, it's fine. Like, we got a similar looking position, but it just wasn't proper. So, I'll just take straight away. I'll just take straight away. Christmas flinch. Oh, I was playing you. No, but 95 you permitted, right? Like I played bishop g5, you did rook e8, and I did rook d1. So in this position, I thought that you allowed me to play 95. So I don't know how the moves are supposed to work, but I always thought that that this was only good because I got 95. So the way that it turned out, I don't disagree, but I don't think that I can force you to play c6 for me here. If I could force you to play c6, then sure, I'll sign up for this every time. Knight takes e5, I think white's winning. But I don't think I can do that. So the way that it turned out was great, but yeah, c6, 95, I thought this was great, but yeah, I don't know any King's Indian theory, so yeah, maybe there's like a6, knight a6. I'm not sure how people play this. King's Indian players know what they're doing here. h6, bishop g4. I don't profess to know a single idea in Black's camp, but at least 95 is kind of more like direct, and I don't think I had seen it in the course that I was studying, so e5 caught me off guard. I think it was actually one of the first times I'd seen e5 in this position. I haven't played too many games here, so maybe that makes sense, but yeah, surprisingly, of all the variations I'd looked at, I hadn't really seen e5, so this was a good game for me to see. But yeah, knight takes e5. Well, we'll play next time. Okay, this game was by far my best game. This was very fun. We already checked the course. It's exactly in the course. Yeah, this was just fun to play. a4, bishop c3, and then knight back, and rook a5, b6, like literally perfect. And we just, yeah, this was one of the only games where we kind of outplayed from like start to finish and had a pretty nice forced game. So it's probably the only game I was like really happy with. I was happy with every game because I'm glad we got to play the lines, but at least I remembered things in this one. So this was just a good game. Yay, go me. Then we had this game, which is pretty much a similar situation. So more queen b6, and again, it was me, I think, playing a3. So I want to look at this line as well. So rook b1 I decided to go for. Here, knight b5, knight a6, h3. So this is what we did. c6, and he goes queen b6. We went rook b1, and c5. I wonder, was that the move played? No, it was bishop f5 and then c5. But we played a3 to stop knight b4. I'm not sure if that was necessary or not. I have a feeling probably not, but so c5, bishop e5 takes, bishop takes, queen e6. Yeah, he's only covering one line here, so it's not incredibly useful, but he's covering it for a reason. So yeah, I did remember bishop e5 on c5, I think. which is why here I did this. So if he would take on d4, then I probably would have taken back with the bishop, and yeah, that would have been fine. But my question is, if bishop f5, do we need to worry about this? And actually, after bishop f5, it looks like bishop d3 is actually one of the moves. If we play bishop e2, I think knight b4 was a problem, which is why I didn't want to do it. So we could go bishop d3. My a3 move is definitely not crazy. I played a3. I think that's fine. Bishop e5. I think they want bishop e5 or no? They still want bishop d3. Well, if they want bishop d3, I shouldn't bother playing this. So it's either a3, bishop e5, or bishop d3 to start off. How do we like this position? Takes, takes. I guess black doesn't really have any breaks. Maybe we play b4 next. This knight's kind of bad. I feel like bishop d3 is kind of nice here, actually. Even though it trades, like this bishop is an absolute god. It's protected with the h3 pawn. We have easy control, and actually b4 as well does look like a nice move. Yeah, so I kind of like this. And if he goes c5, takes, wow, g4 is hyper direct. Threat is g5 to take on d5. I'm happy with bishop d3. I like this move. Bishop d3 takes. I'm a fan of this position. Bishop is so strong, and this knight kind of wants to be here, but it's not. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. And yeah, if c5, then bishop e5, I think, was what was recommended. Okay. And then we have this. You guys remember this game. Sad for me, the entire game was correct. I still don't know what to think about this. e5, d5, bishop b5, knight e4, takes, bishop c5, not knight takes, bishop e3, castles, knight takes, bishop c5, bishop c6, queen d5, queen e7, castles, and the whole thing, I remembered correctly. And then I still didn't like it. And the line, I think, ends here. Right? It ends here. It has to end somewhere. That's 22 moves. That's pretty far. But obviously in my game, my opponent played this theory and used like 20 seconds. I used 3 minutes. I'm trying to remember it. So I'm not really talking about the game itself. I'm talking about what do I actually do here? Queen h4. Let me see some master games. I want to see how the Chads handle it. here we go. Here are the Chads. Samuel A. Milson and Neil Barry. And Miaoyi Lu and Yoav Milikow. Isn't this Yoav guy like 3,000 or something on chess.com? Yeah, he's 3350. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I recognize his name. He's probably not showing up because he's inactive or something. Do you have to be active to be on this leaderboard? I guess so, eh? Orange Ghost, that's the username. Yeah, that's right. I've played him a bunch of times, I think. Or maybe I actually haven't. Maybe we've only played like a few games. Yeah, it's weird. We've only played 4 games. But yeah, I've seen this guy on that list before. Crazy. 33 bullet. Disgusting. Disgusting. So yes, we're gonna follow him. With the black pieces, he won here. GM Tournament 2022. We're gonna follow Big Yoav. Queen F5, Queen H4. Okay. Wow, sweaty, eh? What's going on here with these moves? Is this all forced? Is this all good? Rook D2? Jeez. Because knight e7 covers this. So it's not about knight f3 check anymore. It's just about knight e2 and queen takes. Very impressive game. I'm Myron hard. This is a very nice game, no? Grind, bro. I need to get some inspiration here, you know? Queen A3. Oh, but this is just to make a draw, I guess. Yeah. And what about Samuel Milson? 4NCL main league. Holy. Some DGT board errors. I think it's just rook takes g4 and then g6. Have I considered rook d8? Well, I haven't analyzed it with The only engine I'm using is the chess.com engine, and it's a really bad engine to use in general, but certainly for positions like this. So I just don't want to make any conclusions with it. Queen h4. But yeah, I briefly looked at rook d8, queen f3, and like I would need to do some real proper analysis. Queen here, g3, knight d4, queen d3, queen g4, rook c4. And what's the situation here? Rook d2? Like this is what was played in that game. Knight e7 seems to be the only attempt. But like, what's going on here? Knight e2. King h1 was played, and then queen takes c4. But like, was this just not good what he did? Of course I have ChessBase. I just mean on stream. It's just easy to, because all the games are here, it's easy to just flip on the engine, but the engine's not very good, so. What I mean is, I'd have to do some real serious analysis, like off stream or something. But not too interested in that. Yeah, this line doesn't look too inspiring. I mean, sure, the engine can't be trusted, but if it's giving +2, it's +2. Meaning, like, it's at least a very good position for white. So, not too sure. Yeah, queen h4, g3 needs some answers, because knight d4 seems to be the only reasonable move here. And yeah, I think I looked at rook d8. Just move 14 here. Yeah, after the game, I think in Title Tuesday, I looked at this, and I don't know. I need some strong conclusions here. Are there games here? I suppose what would be interesting is maybe to check this. What are people playing here? Okay, white's castling. And what's happening here? They're taking, and on knight c3. Not a lot of knight e6 games. Lots of bishop e6, but to no avail. Bishop a6. This is way too old. What's this game? Title Tuesday? Oh. It was a draw, but Whites up the whole piece. And rook d8, queen f3. Yeah, knight e6 was, I think, the move that the engine was giving. Rook takes c2 definitely doesn't seem like it. It does make sense that queen takes e5, like, people win this position, but not necessarily because they're supposed to. Who's this? Who's this? Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a very theoretical line, and don't feel like there's an easy answer to this. So this might just remain a slightly unsolved mystery. I'll just have to do some trial and error. But I have to say, I don't love this line. It'll just be one of those nasty ones that you have to try to play to equalize, and that's it. So it felt like I did everything right, and then I ended up here, and I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do, man? The only moves that have ever been played are queen h4, but it doesn't seem to be that good after a g3. Need to see some more examples. Yeah, king h8, eh? King h8 is kind of nice. You only get out of knight e7. What do you think, Luca? Don't you have the course as well, don't you, Luca? What do you do here? Or you just don't see it very much? So I've seen this multiple times. I guess rook d2. If not this, I'm not sure what gets played. I agree, Aaron. Looks a lot more appealing. To be able to use this rook to actually do something feels pretty nice. Sweaty stuff. It seems like this is the top line, which doesn't really bother me that much. Maybe it should. So, like, for example, what happens on... And there's many moves, but let's say this. It's like, my question is this... Can we just liquidate this appropriately? Maybe the answer is no. There's this. There's also bishop b7. We have to reach some like forced rook endgame draw or something. Rook b8. Okay, maybe g3. f4. I don't know. Let's say g3. King g8. Again, maybe g6 or g5, but let's just go here. Rook a5. Is this playable? Looks kind of rough. I feel like you can make a draw here somehow. But it's very, like, painful. Yeah, just playing, like, worse position. Okay, you're gonna have, like, one or two painful lines. But I definitely like the look of King h8 a little bit more. So maybe we stick with that. Tough stuff, man. But this guy just annihilated us in that line. My opponent there. Okay, then the last two games, we had this one, which I felt pretty good about because I think I remembered most things correct. Yeah, this was all good. And then knight d2, we played h6, which I'm curious to check. Knight takes d8. Bishop a7, we saw h3. Then I castled, bishop e3. I did rook e8, and we saw knight bd2. And in this position, I played h6. And I think this was the moment. The knight belongs here, and the bishop belongs here. But maybe it's takes h6, because I still recall this knight placing itself on b4. So let's look at this. Can't remember if I've seen this before. Yeah, okay, so this is the exact one where it is takes first and then h6. There wasn't anything wrong with what I did, and I ended up getting pretty good position. But, yeah, so it wanted takes and then h6, I guess. Huh. Knight g5. You mean instead of knight bd2? Knight g5? Guess so. Yeah, I don't actually know anything about what's going on with knight g5. Maybe it's in there as well. But yeah, takes h6 and bishop b7. Wow, okay. Jeez. Rook e7. So I definitely haven't seen any of these lines before. Black takes. Yeah, rook e7 is quite sweaty. Quite sweaty. Hmm. On takes. Have we seen this line before? I don't think so. This is all new to me. Hmm. Caruana recommends bishop b7 instead of castle. Oh, did you already grab the new course there? Is that where you got that from? I didn't see what the move was here, but maybe this? Yeah. Bishop b7 instead of castle. So here. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too, Sky Money. I had the exact same moment where I was like, really? What the heck? For some reason it looks so strange. Ever. Thanks for the 7 months. With Prime. Okay, so I have seen this line before. This line we've looked at a while ago. Yeah, this stuff all makes sense. This stuff all makes sense. Takes is instead of knight d2, so I suppose we'll leave that for now. Yeah, I think we've looked at that line. So I suppose takes an h6. So confusing trying to remember all these lines. But I think more or less we have the right idea. h3 without the bishop committed, but just castle. I definitely struggle to understand when to put the bishop there, but yeah, this is what I did in the game. I thought this was pretty reasonable. The queen on e2 is definitely misplaced. So yeah, I was just going to put my knight on b4 and go c6 or c5. Yeah, okay, I was down to literally 1 second here, so game just turns into nonsense. But pretty successful opening. Overall, I definitely didn't play great, didn't remember everything, but I think we knew what we were doing more or less. Had the right ideas at least. And h6 at least isn't a terrible move, but yeah, takes and bishop b7 to play knight b4 is more important. We'll have to remember that. If white doesn't play this and instead plays rook e1, I think that this is the one where we take, and after takes, I think we can just grab this pawn here. Pretty sure. Not sure I've ever looked at this line in the course, but should be 6. So takes 94, and yeah, I don't think we've actually paid attention to these lines, but all I remember is that we could take. Knight a7. Look at this, right? So takes. I mean, like, this is a must-know variation because what the hell's happening? Queen d4. Bishop f5. Okay. King takes a7. Knight c5. Oof. So much going on here. But okay, I guess the queen is about to get trapped with rook b7, so... And the bishop's hanging, so you're getting something here. Okie dokie. And our very last game, very last game, it was a6, e6, g4, not bishop b4, but c5, g5, knight fd7, queen g4, and okay, it was pawn takes, but knight c6 will be the exact same. Yeah, so the only move given is b5, and then queen g3. Our opponent played queen a5, so we would have been kind of on our own anyway. I think I was reasonably happy with how we decided to play against it. Queen g3 made sense. And then here, I thought knight g2 also made sense. Maybe we could have gone for this, but I like knight g2 first. And so yeah, I totally had the right idea here. I should listen to myself and play bishop c7. But king b1, bishop c7. We're looking at the kind of moves that we expect next. I see h4, h5. I'm not seeing my light squared bishop move a whole heck of a lot. So it's mainly like playing this, getting the h-pawn up, and playing king b1. And maybe knight c1 to b3. So this bishop actually stays here to always watch the c4 square, I guess. Or maybe to come to d3 in the future, but definitely this bishop move needs to be played. So we kind of, yeah, I think we played it pretty well. But I didn't know if what I was doing was good, so I wasn't playing it very confidently. But again, if I was ever to see this line again, suddenly I'd be like, okay, yeah, I know where the pieces go. Knight here, queen here, king over, h-pawn with bishop c7. Whereas in the game, of course, I'm like basically trying to figure that out on the spot. So I'll play those a little bit more confidently next time. We got slapped around this title Tuesday, but, you know, as the Philadelphia 76ers say, you know, Joel Embiid, trust the process. Trust the process. So we got 4.5, but I'd like to think we exposed ourselves to some important lines. So maybe we'll be able to put things together and show the growth in the late title Tuesday. So that'll be my plan. I am going to head over to our Kick channel and I think continue my series. This is a series where I'm not on my main account, I have a new account, and I only play these new openings. I'm always checking with our Chessable course to see if I'm playing it right. I'm trying my best. Trying to learn this new stuff. I'll stream the late title Tuesday once again with my new openings on Kick. We'll have a viewer tournament after, which we host every week. Underdog title Tuesday. A chance for you guys to play as well. But for now, I will be on our Kick channel, kick.com/chessbra. So I'm going to turn the stream off here, and I'm going to turn the stream on over at Kick. So I hope to see you guys there. Twitch subs are not transferable. No, ever, ever, ever. They are separate. And if you sub on Kick, we see much more of that money ourselves, as opposed to a Twitch, like 50-50 splitting it with Twitch, which is one of the reasons why we're there. So thanks for supporting us over on Kick. If you do come over, I appreciate you. If you already have an account, I appreciate you lots. I'll see you guys there. We're going to keep streaming for a long time today. We got our series to continue, Title Tuesday, viewer tournament, lots happening. So I'll see you guys over on Kick. Just going to turn the stream off, 30 seconds, and kick.com/chessbra. I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching, and I'll next be live on Twitch, or the Twitch stream will next be live tomorrow morning, I think probably for Arena Kings. So bye guys, see you on Kick.